Reppin' Philly ain't a choice. It's a way of life. PhillyGoat.com is your one-stop shop for Philly pride. Use the promo code Jim Montgomery for 10% off. Look fresh, stay Philly, Philly Goat. Go Birds.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to this day in Philly Sports History for May 20th, 2026. I'm your host, Jim Montgomery. Welcome to a Wednesday edition of the podcast. Happy Hump Day to everyone out there. And the Phillies winning streak is over. Snapped at 5 games. Rough one last night, 4-1. Managed only 3 hits. Still no Kyle Schwarber as he's recovering from being sick. But for, I guess, his part, Jesus Luzardo was solid, which you'll take. But you're not going to beat anybody only managing 3 hits. But they look to take the series this afternoon at 1, the good old business person special. I think Channel 10 is doing the weather day. So still a shot to take this series today. Aaron Nola on the mound. Could get dicey, but looking forward to that today. And I mentioned this yesterday, but we're starting to enter the period where there is not much other than the Phillies going on. So we're going right into our trivia from yesterday. And Moses Malone averaged 24.6 points per game for that 84-85 Sixers team. Dr. J averaged 20. And then rookie Charles Barkley averaged 14. Be sure to follow me on all social media at Philly Jimbo. Subscribe to the YouTube channel Jimbo_Mont and continue to spread the word as we grow this thing. Don't forget to check out the Philly Hall, the official podcast that's new for the Philadelphia Sports Hall of Fame, as well as the blog. And then, of course, stay tuned. When I get back, we will have another Brotherly Birds breakdown coming very, very soon. Break down the draft as well as the schedule release.
This day in Philly sports history is proud to be a part of the Clashing Conferences Sports Fan Network, where passionate fans make powerful content. Check out theclashingconferences.com and join the squad today.
All right, May 20th. First, let's go back to 1975. And we talk about this all the time, but the Fog Bowl happened in 1988. But have you ever seen a Fog Bowl in a hockey rink? Well, that happened up in Buffalo on this day in 1975. A combination of the humidity, no air conditioner, caused a thick fog to come on the ice. Flyers, Sabres, they had to skate around to break it up. Through all the confusion in the Stanley Cup, it was a 4-4 game, sent it into overtime where the Sabres win it 5-4 to cut the lead in half to 2-1. Buffalo would win Game 4 before the Flyers closed it out in 6. But Fog Bowl in the hockey rink, and on this day in 1975, Sabres beat the Flyers 5-4. Players had to constant delays, skate around to break it up. And I apologize for my nose. I'm not sure what's happening today, but you have this. Fast forward to 1983. Phillies lose 5-0 to the Padres at the Vet. Steve Carlton went 8 innings, struck out 4, ending the day with 3,511 to take over number 2 all-time on the strikeout list, passing Walter Johnson. Nolan Ryan, of course, was number 1. Those two in 83 and 84 would go back, Carlton and Nolan Ryan, before Nolan Ryan eventually passed Lefty. But Lefty moves number 2, passing Walter Johnson on this day, despite the Phillies losing 5-0 at the Vet. Fast forward to 1988. Phillies-Padres once again at the Vet. Or Phillies-Padres once again, this time out in San Diego. Padres won it 4-3 when Roberto Alomar walked it off, getting the hit off of Kent Colby. But Mike Schmidt hits a 2-run homer in this game, number 535 for his career, passing another famous Philly player, Jimmy Fox, who played for both the A's and the Phillies, for number 8 all time. And we're going to go with the A's for today's trivia question. Mark McGwire is the A's all-time leading home run leader. Who are number 2 and 3 on the list? Both of these guys have Philly ties. Who are they? Hit me up on the Back to the Future voice and text line 267-495-8531 or the Discord channel. The link is in the description. But who are number 2 and number 3 all time on the A's home run list? Both of them have Philly ties. And fast forward to 1997, Flyers go up 2-1 on the Rangers in the Eastern Conference Final, winning it 6-3. Eric Lindros with his first and only playoff hat trick. The Flyers would win that series in 5 before running into the buzzsaw that was the Detroit Red Wings. Then in 2001, Sixers beat the Raptors 88-87 in Game 7 of their second-round playoff series at the First Union Center. Aaron McKee led the Sixers with 22. AI had 21 points and 16 assists, but it came down to the end. Vince Carter's buzzer beater bounced off, giving the Sixers the win, and they moved up. And we were all relieved, I think, at that point when Vince Carter's shot did not go in, but it was a tight one. They would go on to the Eastern Conference Finals against the Bucks, which would be another stressful 7-game series. 3 years later, in 2004, Phillies beat the Dodgers 4-0. Chase Utley hit a home run. Brett Myers with a complete game shutout, striking out 5, the first ever shutout at Citizens Bank Park belonged to Brett Myers. And then 2 years later, it was the Preakness. Unfortunately, it was not good for Philly horses. We had Smarting Mania 2 years before. Barbaro won the Kentucky Derby. We had our sights and thoughts about another Triple Crown run. Unfortunately, there was a false start, and then on the restart, Barbaro hurt his leg, broke it, and then went through that lengthy recovery. He would hang on, infections and all that, but he would unfortunately pass away in January of 2007. But 2006 Preakness on this day, Barbaro gets hurt, starting off a lengthy surgery and recovery for good old Barbaro. All right, today is Wednesday. Time for a little What If Wednesday. Brought to you by Lotwin. Go to Lotwin.com for your 3D custom hype chains. Use the promo code TCCPOD to take 10% off. They're great for summer swim teams as well as travel baseball, travel soccer tournaments. So go to Lotwin, get your 3D custom hype chains, and use the promo code TCCPOD to take 10% off of your order. And despite losing last night, Phillies have been hot. Lots of big comparisons have been made to that 2022 team. What if we compare this team to that 2022 team? Obviously, a good chunk of the lineup is the same, and they're a little bit older. But I think that this team has a much better pitching staff. Bullpen's a little, but I don't know. I think this team is better than the 2022 team. They could be hungrier. I think realizing that they're down to one of their final chances to do something. So you got Don Mattingly, who never won anything, who might be hungry. I know there's a couple different chats, and a lot of people say, oh, Mattingly's never won anything as a player or a manager. Is this the time they can put it on? I think they could certainly go on a run. But what are your thoughts? How would you compare this team to the 2022 team? I think I want to see them do it against better competition, but I think the starting pitching staff alone gives this team a chance to go on a run, and we've seen it. Even Luzardo last night, the offense couldn't do anything, but he kept them in that game. So let me know your thoughts. 267-495-8531. Again, there's definitely a lot of comparisons, but where does this team compare it to that 2022 team? I think, like I said, there's a ton of similarities. I think in some ways this team is better, in other ways the 2022 team, but I like this team. So let me know your thoughts on the Back to the Future voice and text line, 267-495-8531. And Memorial Day weekend is this weekend. You're going to start going down to the shore. Let Beach Caddy take the stress out of your Jersey Shore vacation. Whether it's move-in, move-out service, or beach cards, they got you covered to make it as smooth as possible. If you're in Ocean City, Sea Isle, Avalon, Stone Harbor, and Wildwood, go to beachcaddy.app. Use the promo code Jim Montgomery to take 10% off your beach cart rentals as well as your bellhop service. They'll move you in, move you out, and take the stress out of your Jersey Shore vacation. Again, I apologize for my nose. This is crazy. And then finally today, our Philly Connection Spotlight. Today, we're going to take a look at Ty Cobb. Yes, the Georgia Peach is probably more well known for his time with the Tigers, but he did have a little brief stint here in Philly for the A's. He set 90 records in his career as a hitter, one of the first and best superstars. He definitely had a little nasty streak, but he did retire to avoid being suspended for a game-fixing scandal. Ended up being cleared of all that. Connie Mack saw an opportunity and signed him to put some butts in the seat out at Shibe Park. And it paid off for them. The 1927 and 28 seasons, the A's were competing with the Yankees for the top spot in the American League. Ty Cobb played 228 games, hit .343 in his 2 seasons with the A's before officially retiring once again for good, but came in, performed, and did well for the A's. So Ty Cobb is today's Philly Connection Spotlight. A lot of people forget that not only did the A's play here, Ty Cobb had a decent stint, started, and played pretty well for Connie Mack and the A's. So he is today's Spotlight. Be sure to let me know what your thoughts are on this Phillies team. I think, like I said, I think they're right there with that 2022 team. Barbaro gets hurt on this day in 2006 at the Preakness. Brett Myers with the first shutout at Citizens Bank Park on this day in 2004. Vince Carter's buzzer beater did not go in on this day as the Sixers move on against the Raptors in 2001. Eric Lindros with a Stanley Cup playoff hat trick, first and only of his career on this day in the Eastern Conference Finals against the Rangers. Mike Schmidt passes Jimmy Fox for number 35 all-time on the home run list. Who are number 2 and 3 on the A's all-time home run list? Both have Philly ties, so let me know your answers and your guesses for that. Steve Carlton passes Walter Johnson on this day in 1983 for number 2 all-time. And then 1975 wasn't the Fog Bowl, but there was fog inside the arena in Buffalo as the Flyers lose to the Sabres 5-4 in Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Finals. Be back tomorrow with a little Throwback Thursday due to baseball. Tomorrow will be my last day down here recording. Be back in the home studio for Friday. But we'll do a little Throwback Thursday tomorrow and have a good time. Hopefully my nose will not be as stuffy either. But Phillies, Reds, we'll have all of that today as well. Of course, if there's anything that comes up for the other teams, we'll cover that as well. But this has been This Day in Philly Sports History for May 20th, 2026. My name's Jim Montgomery. Go have yourselves a hump day. And until next time, I'll see you when I see you.